that the IRS stipulates. To have an HSA plan, there's certain things that you have to have. It cannot have any first dollar coverage except for preventive services. So you'll see on this ODS Plan 9 that pharmacy does not, you don't have a pharmacy card any longer. It goes to the deductible. Something to think about. You can't have other coverage. So if you're on you've always had double coverage, you've had coverage through the district and through your spouse, you could not continue having coverage through a spouse if you select the HSA plan. Because you could be on ODS Plan 9, but you can't have an HSA plan. And let me back up there and kind of make the distinction. ODS Plan 9 is the insurance vehicle that goes with the HSA, but they're very separate. The insurance vehicle, and then there's the account. The account is what you have to go set up. You actually go down to the credit union or you go to the bank and you set it up. It's exactly like a savings account. I am personally on one. I've been on one for a couple years now. You go in, you put it's actually in your name. It's not in your spouse, you and your spouse's name. You could name them as a beneficiary, but it truly is in your name. And the way it works is that, as Chelsea I think talked about briefly at the beginning, anything that's left over of the cap after the premium is paid under ODS Plan 9 goes into your account. And you decide where that account is going to be, and your account grows. You own your account. It goes with you. You could go to another school district that doesn't have an HSA. You just would park your HSA at that point in time. You couldn't contribute new dollars to it, but it is your money. And if you say you go on it for 1 year and at the end of the year you say, well, I didn't like that, it's still your account. It is truly like a passbook savings account that you set up. If it's with a bank or a credit union, it's insured by either FDIC or NCUA. You have options. You have options through who is your vendor, that your HSA, your other vendor that you guys. American Fidelity. Oh. Sorry, I was escaping it. I knew it was. I was trying to say American Family. I knew that wasn't right. American Fidelity is another option. But on that, with that option, it is, it's kind of more like an investment vehicle. So your account, you really can be what you want to do. You can just keep it to save it, or you can keep it to grow it. My really mission was to just keep it until I'm going to need it later. So the way it works is very similar to an FSA. If you've been on the flexible spending account, where you decide at the beginning of the year how much money you're going to put in. It comes out of your check every month pre-tax. It goes into your account. You incur an expense. You submit the claim. You're reimbursed. It's very similar. The same function works, except for a couple of the big difference is there is no use it or lose it function. With an HSA, you can keep putting money in, as long as you're on a high deductible health plan that's HSA compliant. You can keep putting money into it until you are either Medicare eligible or turn 65. You can take money out of it as you incur the expenses, or you can defer to take the money out of it. But any expenses that you've incurred the entire time that you've been under the plan you could reimburse yourself at any point in time. And logistically how that works is different between the different vendors. I have my own personal one with OSU Federal Credit Union. They have no fees. Some do, some don't have fees. But because I'm one of their customers, I didn't have any fee that was attached to the HSA. They gave me a Benny card, so I have a little Visa card that has my account balance into it. So if I wanted to use it when I'm at Rite Aid picking up a pharmacy or at the doctor's office, they could swipe it just like you could with your FSA, and then it comes out of your account, it pays the bill, you get the statement, and off you go. You don't have to use it, but you can use it. I also have checks. I can reimburse myself out of the account, and this is exactly like the FSA about that. If you come to an audit, you're the one that's going to need to have the paperwork to say this is what I did. So I attach, and that's why I said, if you don't have enough time to consider the HSA, don't go on the HSA. Because I have a nice little HSA file that has the explanation of benefits that I got from the insurance company, you know, the fact that it went to my high deductible health plan, it wasn't paid, I would attach the receipt to that and just stick it in the file. I'm never audited, here it is, there you go. So anything that's going into the HSA is going to be pre-tax. So there's the component of what the district could be putting in, and that's the difference. The cap, what's ever left over goes in, but you can also put your own funds in it. So if you're an individual covered under the plan, it's up to $31.50. If you're covered as a family, it's $62.50, and that's per year. Okay, it is so not for everyone, and I'll tell you the people who it might not be for. If you look at the ODS Plan 9, does everyone see the deductible right there? I'm just going to make sure everyone sees it.
Okay, increase the
right here, the $1,500. So if you think $500 deductible is a lot, think about the $1,500. That just says day one, you're on the hook for the first $1,500, whether it's medical or whether it's pharmacy. You have an accident, you get sick, that's how much you're going to be responsible for, okay? But then, having said that, think about the fact that whatever is left over from your cap is going into this account every month. So, Chelsea, what's the amount of that's in
like for licensed, it would be $403.28.
Okay, so for licensed staff, $403 goes into your account in October. So, okay, now I only have the difference between the 403 and the 1,500. Okay, second month, you've now got 806. You're almost there. You know, it takes you a couple months to fund it. So once you get beyond that deductible, then you're just totally saving money. And then if you don't have to use your deductible, you don't have to use your insurance, it just keeps growing. So it's a really nice vehicle. If you can say that if something happens to me in the first month and I only have $403 in my account, I can pay the balance of that deductible because, you know, the hospital provider, they're going to want their money, okay? So the other person that it might not be attractive to, I know when our office went to this, there was one individual who did not take it, and that was because their family uses a lot of pharmacies. I mean, they have a lot of things, and they would have gotten there in the first month, you know, with regards to, at the end of the year, would they have saved money? Yeah, a touch, but they would have spent it all, blown through their deductible in the very first month. So if you have a lot of pharmacy or if you can't fund that deductible, those would be the two instances where I would say it would not make sense. But for everybody else, we did some analysis, and I know it's on the website and I have copies of it up here, but we took each of the plans, and we did this is what we did with the insurance committee. We looked at the plans that are offered and we said, okay, if our family has no expenses, some expenses, more expenses, or a lot of expenses, which plan was I better off at the end of the year? And in the case of all four of those scenarios, the member was better off having been under the HSA because of the difference in the cap and the insurance, the cost of the insurance. But again, I have to say the caveat there is that you have to be able to fund it up front. And I would think about it twice if you had a lot of pharmacy. Okay? So the HSA plan, you can reimburse yourself. You don't have to reimburse yourself, but no one is going to hold your hand on this. And you also, your responsibility is to go set up the account because, as Chelsea said, if you don't do anything, you'll automatically be put on the ODS Plan 9, but your responsibility is to pick your financial institution, go down and fill out the paperwork. It will take you 10 minutes. So if you don't have the 10 minutes, again, this plan is not for you because you're going to do, you know, other things that you need to engage in. But that is the part that will be your responsibility. Okay? Questions about the HSA? Yes.
What happens when you reach 65?
Oh, thank you. Yes, that's a very good question. What happens when you turn 65? So, a little, if you can use up to age 65 the funds that you set aside to reimburse yourself for medical, dental, or vision. You can also use it for people that are not covered under your plan if they are dependent. So you could use it for your kids might not be under the plan, but you can, if you're responsible for their expenses, you can use your HSA to pay for those. After age 65, you can use those funds for anything, but it would be income taxable. If you use it after age 65 for medical, dental, or vision, it never is taxable. It will never go to your income. If you use it before 65 to go on a cruise, you will pay the excise tax of 20%, plus you get to pay the income tax on it. So don't go on the cruise with your HSA money.
I hadn't planned to, but I do turn 65 and it wasn't fun. So
Oh, okay.
it's
Yes.
Okay, so once you hit the $1,500 deductible on the ODS 9,
Mm-hmm.
or do you go to the 20%, 80% schedule?
So is that darling child yours, and is she on your insurance plan?
Yes.
Okay, so for you, then it is the family deductible. So you see up here,
Yeah,
it's
$3,000.
right. So it's yes. So it would be the first $3,000 for a family.
So, so once I hit, myself hit $1,500, doesn't matter, we have to hit 3,000 together?
As a family, right.
Okay.
So,
And then once that, sorry. No, go ahead. Then once that happens.
yes, then it's an 80%. Then the insurance company pays 80, you pay 20.
What about pharmacy?
Pharmacy is subject to the deductible, everything under the HSA plan except for preventive services.
So pharmacy would go under the 20%
Yes.
as well?
Yes,
Okay. Thank you.
yes. And there was,
You have said you can't have any other insurance?
yes, so that, just to clarify, if you're on the HSA plan, you can't have other medical insurance. You can have dental, you can have vision, but you cannot be on like a spouse's plan for coverage.
What about your spouse? If they have, like, he's just covering himself.
Okay, so you're thinking of covering him under this as well?
No, I didn't understand, you know, like, I could go on it and then I wouldn't be able to cover him if he has his own coverage? Is that what you're saying?
You can't, he could be on ODS Plan 9, but as far as the amount that you could contribute to the HSA
Oh,
is would be just for you,
Yes, that makes sense.
if he has other coverage, correct.
Medicare considered other coverage?
Medicare as in, so you're asking, tell me a little bit, because once you're Medicare eligible, you cannot be on an HSA. Does that answer your question?
Yep.
Okay. Just stabbing at that one. Yes.
That's even if you are still working and you don't want Medicare when you're 65. Because I'll still be working. And I have a plan on signing up for Medicare.
Well, you will be signed up for it. I mean, it automatically, you need to go sign up for Medicare, and you won't, what you will do is you just won't take the Part B. As long as you're an active employee, you won't take Part B, but you do need to sign up for Part A, because when ODS is processing the claims, they will assume that you have signed up for it. So, and you can do that online. Okay. Yeah, as long as you're not going to be taking a benefit, you can do it online. Okay, other questions?